PKN 358. How you boys?
Doing good.
Oh, I hate the black background.
You hate the white background?
Oh, yeah.
It is bright. There we go. That's better. That's better.
God, so fucking bright. God damn. And we're fixed. Good job. Good job.
Perfect. Thank you, Zach.
Much better.
So, Woody, where are you at in your any more cataclysmic events unfurling?
So, yesterday we both bought new motorcycles. I think people don't know that. Mm-hmm. I got a KTM 890 Adventure R. Chris got a Suzuki V-Strom 1050. Both very nice bikes. I like his bike a lot. I like my bike. Very cool. They're doing the job a little better than the old ones did. They go faster. Vroom, vroom. It's good. I'm just loving every minute on it. Yesterday, we split up a little bit because I'm faster than him. And it wasn't like risky or anything. Just highways through the mountains and stuff. Cool. And I think he likes it. He doesn't feel pressured to go above his own speed. So I'm at the complimentary breakfast in the morning, and he pulls up at my table, and he's like, I'm going to need a minute to get rolling. And I'm like, what happened?
Wait, do you mean pulls up, like walked over to the table?
Yeah, he walked over to my table.
I'm loving the new biker lingo.
All right, he bellied up to the table. How's that? And and he sits down and he tells me about how his day went. So he pulled over just to like clean the bugs off his face mask or something. And he put his kickstand down, but not all the way. And as he hops off the bike stops falling. The pro move, which he did, is to save yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Bikes are way cheaper to fix than people, and it doesn't hurt. And he's like, I laid this thing down like a promotional video, was his quote. It was nice and soft. He's like, I made sure I didn't get hurt first. Second, I made sure the bike landed softly. Well, the peg where your foot rests, it's made of cast aluminum, and it broke off. So he spent the rest of the night riding to the hotel with his left foot on the passenger peg behind him, which is difficult because you kind of use the peg to shift. There's a little shift lever by your toe. And, you pull your toe up, you shift up, you push it down. And with your foot just floating in the air like that, it's a bit of a challenge. But he manages it, and he was looking for a spare foot peg. He calls every Suzuki dealer in Idaho and Wyoming, and no one has one in stock. I guess it's a COVID thing. The supply chain's all fouled up, and no one can get the things they need. So I find 4 welders for him. He calls 3, 2 don't answer, 1 says no, and he's like, it can't be done. I'll ride home. And it's like, can't be done. Like we just started working this problem. Mm-hmm. So I drive around town looking for gas. I find 2 metal fabricators. I pull in, and I was so proud of myself because the guy was like, cast aluminum, you're fucked. It can't be fixed. And I'm like, yeah, it's tough, but we do need it fixed, And, because what I heard was, you're fucked. It can't be properly fixed. It can only be fixed so well. It can't be good as new. I when he said it can't be fixed, I didn't hear it can't be fixed at all. Let's just, what can we do? So I start making friends with this dog. She's got 2 dogs there. One's wearing a cone and its butt is torn apart. The other is wearing a muzzle. And I'm like, what's the story here? And he's like, no, it's not what you think. That one was attacked by 2 yellow labs. And this is the sweetest little, I was attacked by 2 golden retrievers. This was the sweetest little yellow lab.
The idea of that is so comical.
I know.
Yeah, these golden
retrievers.
I was like, 2 golden retrievers
in the world.
I didn't expect that. He's like, yeah, you don't. We never found the owners or anything. But 2 golden retrievers attacked that dog savagely. And now he's wearing a cone so he doesn't lick all his wounds and stuff.
Yeah.
The other one's wearing a muzzle, and they're like, that one barks. Oh, is the muzzle for barking? That one bites is what you're saying. Yeah. But I don't mind. I'm going to make friends with your dogs, and I'm going to get you to fix my friend's motorbike, which is exactly how it went down. I started loving up his dogs and talking to him, getting their names. And explaining to them that they are both good boys and girls. And before long, he's like, call your friend over. Let's see what we can do. And I don't know what they did. They talked
You're
about
doing like a
welding
real life RPG. You increased your charisma in regard to him, and then you got what you wanted. And I like how you didn't like take the obvious route, which is like, really, your two vicious looking dogs were just attacked by a golden retriever. Seems real. Seems like what really happened. You better call the news because this is the first time. Can you imagine the mind fuck as you see like two Goldens running for you, and you're like, what the fuck? Oh, thank God. They're golden, and then they start mauling your dogs.
So they either welded it or brazed it or something like that. And it's not perfect. It's I guess when the aluminum broke off, it bent a little. Like, so the pieces don't fit back together. You know, sometimes something breaks and you put it back together like a puzzle and it's super perfect. That was not the situation. But he does have a foot peg now. And we're on our way home. So that slowed us up a bit today. But on July 1st, we have parts being shipped to a location in Wyoming. And if it wasn't for that, we'd probably be like chewing up more miles per day. But it's like we have to be there on July 1st. So what's the point of going 600 miles today, you know, when we're bound by that? After July 1st, I think we turn the jets on. And
is your buddy getting like grouchy at all by all these setbacks or good attitude?
I wouldn't say that. You know, I think if you have two guys together all the time, like grouchy moments happen. But at Cisco, when new teams formed, they had these like phases that the teams go through. This sort of forming, storming, norming, performing was the 4 phases of this thing.
That's terrible.
I hate that.
Oh, how soulless.
I found it to be true in our relationship too, right? There's sort of this forming where you're on your almost like company manners, and then you're the storming where we had arguments and we were kind of trying to work out how we can, you know, both get what we need out of this trip, and then norming and performing, and that's where we are now, dude. Like, I stopped. So we don't always ride like side by side all day long like you'd think. I pulled up at this like Craters of the Moon National Monument. It's where the astronauts trained to ride their moon buggies and shit like that. But side note, it is amazing. It doesn't feel like this planet. It's like volcanic rock, maybe, or something, as far as the eye can see. I hiked out a couple 100 yards into it just to like experience it. It's like 107 here. It feels like you're on Mars, but wouldn't Mars be colder? I'm not sure. But it was I've never seen anything like it. It doesn't feel like Earth. And as I was walking back to my bike, you know, he was pulling up to it too. And it was like, dude, like, he practically matched my speed. He set his cruise control over 80. Nice. So he's rolling along. And then after that, I checked into the hotel and I was just walking back out to my bike. And again, he was like 5 minutes behind me. So he's so much faster. I rode his bike today for the first time. He was like, do you want to try it? And I'm like, yeah. Do you want to try mine? Maybe next year when I get some more time under my belt. I would like to try your bike someday, was his answer.
What's your reaction if he goes to try your bike and he just wrecks the shit out of it? Depends
how wrecks it. If he wrecks the shit out of it, I'm very disappointed.
Like extreme cosmetic damage.
I think he'd just make it right. You know, they're
yeah, I guess that's a thing.
They're like the big problems in life are emotional and medical. And everything else money fixes. And you know, that's what's up. So but anyway, I take his bike for a spin and it feels like a European car. It's like 105 horsepower sewing machine that just zzz, and the wind is, you're protected from it, and I can see why he's getting fast on it. So
okay,
he likes it. So it was a good buy. Also, it fits his mission post trip a little better than his last bike did. He's discovered that he doesn't really like the technical rock obstacles and river crossings and stuff. He enjoys the cruising, scenery, mountain road stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's where I would be too.
Okay.
I hate the idea of like, I don't know, averaging 6 miles per hour on a 100 horsepower motorcycle because there's like, I don't know, technical rocks to scurry over and stuff.
Okay. Those were some of my trip highlights. So Yeah, and to each his own. But anyway, yeah. So his bike fits both of our bikes, I think, fit post tat really well, and it's been a good day. And I got his bike fixed for him, and I felt good about that. He was generous. He asked the dude how much he needed. He said $50, and he handed him $100 and went on his way.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. It's good you got it fixed.
Is there?
And then
any work? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So we're like leaving town. And it's sort of known that we're going to split up on the safe roads. And I was like, "You want to get lunch before we break up?" And he's like, "Yeah." We find a place that serves Wagyu beef. Maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong. And I was like, "This is like a staple topic on the show." He's like, "Well, then you have to get it." So Wagyu. Okay. Anyway, that's what I had for lunch today. And it was good, but I didn't find it to be. I like filet mignon more, I think.
Well, Wagyu beef is
it's like a different kind of raised filet, right?
Yeah. It could be any cut of meat, any cut of the cow could be Wagyu.
Well, I clearly don't know what I'm talking about, but I had it and I was a little underwhelmed. I thought,
how much more expensive was it than like?
It was $40 and there wasn't much of it, but it was also like a lunch serving. It wasn't like a fancy dinner restaurant.
I hate that about lunch serving sizes. It's like I'm just as hungry now as I will be in 5 hours. Like, don't you scam
Taylor,
me.
this is the hill we should die on.
It is. It's trash. I never order from the lunch menu.
When we run for president, this will be the central plank of our platform.
Yeah, everybody's talking about like universal health care, and it's like we're getting rid of lunch menus, full portions for everyone all day. Do you want a 5-ounce piece of steak for lunch? No, no one does. You want an 8 to 12-ounce one to keep it light.
I hear to keep it. I had to process that. This trip has been so amazing for me. I literally feel more worldly than I did at the beginning of June. Right? It's the end of June.
Will do that to you.
But it's funny, that was actually a bit of a weak spot in my worldliness. I spent more time in New York City than Oklahoma. Right? Maybe other people the opposite. I haven't driven through Kansas on a motorbike before, or mountain. I've seen some mountain passes in Denver, I guess, but this is new to me. Yeah. I don't know. I just the size of America is a little more under my grasp, having done it by motorcycle.
Yeah, it's enormous.
Like the size of America is already kind of ridiculous, but then you stop it. Even when you've explored the entire contiguous, it's like, wait a minute. There's that one state up there that's as big as a third of all of this.
Yeah.
There's that one place up in the north that's a third the size of all of this.
Yeah. Is it? I get so confused by our misleading maps.
Yeah,
right? Northern things are bigger looking than other things. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. I like Australia and Africa really get fucked over. Africa is the sizes of a lot of things is really misconstrued.
Well, everything right near the
equator gets fucked
closest.
Over. I'm not sure if Australia does, but you might be. I'm not sure you're wrong.
Australia and Africa.
Okay. Well, I'll just go with it because I don't know what I'm talking about. But
I mean, more than likely, nothing is proportional. This and this are the correct proportions, but nothing that surrounds them is, and this over here would fit with this, and it's really disjointed and terribly that's what children learn from. It's awful that's the way maps work. Why don't they just give us this map right here?
The one I just linked to you can type something in and then drag it over to see what the real size is without the Mercator map. And yeah, I put in Alaska and it is huge.
Oh,
you're probably not far off saying a third of the country. Yeah.
It's
oh yeah. But also, I don't know if Zach can show this. If Zach can go there, type in Alaska and show what it looks like. But Alaska on the map looks about the size of the lower 48. And then when you drag it, like Kyle said, it's about a third of the lower 48. So the map is misleading, but the true size of site fixes that.
Yeah, you drag it over Europe and you're like, oh man, Europe is way smaller than you
Alaska is as big as most of Europe. Not most of Europe, but most of Eastern Europe. It's as big as France, Portugal, Spain, Germany, and Italy all combined. isn't dragging it over.
That's about
Alaska
right.
is.
Can't
Like,
really include Russia and Europe in this one because that
it
throws
covers
off.
a big chunk of Belarus, Poland, Romania, and the Ukraine. This is just Alaska again. Alaska is, I mean, it looks like it's a quarter the size of fucking China. It's bigger than Mongolia. It looks very similar to the size of Kazakhstan. It's huge.
Russia
Maybe I
is
need to go to
bananas.
Alaska. So the guy that I
Huge.
bought my last bike from, his plan was to go to Alaska. That was his dream trip. He wanted to go to the top of Alaska, and he felt like that bike didn't have it in it to cover that many miles, which is why he sold it to me.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, Alaska's big, you say? I should go.
I could fly to Alaska, but I can't drive. The Canadians won't let me in.
You probably wouldn't want to drive anyway. You'd probably want to do that as a flight. That would be a brutal drive. Can you imagine going from Atlanta to Anchorage? Just
Sure.
Cross-continental drive.
I think I'd do it the fun way and drive to Seattle and then boat to Alaska. I think
When you said, I think I'd do it the fun way, I'm like, is it safe to drive high?
Now, Kyle, if you don't sleep at all, you can make it there in 3 days.
Excellent.
It's a 70-hour drive.
70
It says
hours.
from
Oh,
Atlanta
that's
to
pretty
Anchorage.
And that's not even counting all the time I'm saving, like going backwards in time zones. Yeah, that's going to be great.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how that works.
That
Isn't that like the...
If you go
the
fast enough, it is.
okay.
You got to go real quick.
Yeah, it's going to go 1,000, a little over 1,000 miles per hour, and you're time traveling.
Everything turns blue or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Driving high is a person-to-person kind of thing.
I've heard that. I think, I don't think, well, I don't know, but I don't think the highness would ruin my driving. The drowsiness would. The drowsiness. And by the way, I maintain that drowsy driving, which I've done sometimes, can be as dangerous as, some levels of drunk driving.
Yeah, I've never driven drunk. So I don't know, but obviously I've tried to walk to the bathroom drunk, and I'm not great at that. Sometimes it's your fucking house, like where the walls are, and still you ram your hip or your shoulder into a doorway, and you're like, I forgot where things are in life. like your hand-eye coordination is just ruined.
I have this big thing about risk profiles being personal, right? I see people fly their paramotors. Some people do it in a really dangerous way, maybe me, and other people do it, in a really safe way. I don't judge. You do you. Your risk profile is yours. It's not a problem until you extend the risk profile you're comfortable with to other people, right? When you start driving 160 miles an hour because you're okay with that, well, no, you're not alone in this society like that. Now you're introducing your risk profile to other people. That's not cool. And that's where I am with drunk driving. If you could somehow drunk drive on your own property around the acreage,
sure,
knock yourself out.
Who cares?
That's your risk profile. You get to choose your own risk profile. You don't get to choose mine.
That's fair. Yeah. I think the high driving thing is a real person to person thing. It doesn't make me drowsy if I've been smoking a good bit. I mean, it kind of depends what I'm doing. If I'm out and about and smoking, I'm not getting sleepy or sedated. But if I'm in bed and it's late at night and I smoke, it's oh yeah, this is going to be great. This is really relaxing. I'll pass out now. And it also depends how much you smoke and what exactly you're smoking. If it's an indica or sativa, it really does matter. And how high you're getting. Yeah, like I said, how much you smoke. If you're doing some indica dabs, you'll get sedated pretty quickly.
Even though it's indica. Oh,
indica
that's
is
right.
the one
Indica
that's
is indicouch, right? I had it backwards.
Yeah. I would always if I was somewhere where you could actually pick and know that what you were getting is what you're actually getting, I would get a hybrid anyway. It's how plant breeding works. It's a hybrid of the two.
Okay.
Well, you're closing in, man.
Closing in. I don't
So
know if I even have my phone on me, but yeah, I do. I think it's 94 days or something.
3 months, and you're a free man.
More or less. Are any of us really free? 94 days.
No,
Huh.
we're not really free.
No,
We have to pay bills and things.
It's not 3 months either.
Which means we're the same as slaves.
not 3 long months.
3 long months and a day. There's no
That's
3. Anyway, it's
That
always
should be a
3
months. A 32-day month. I'm surprised they didn't like.
Really, I like that they extended February. That was the right pick.
Yeah, yeah.
Those extra 4 days, man. It's gonna make you behave.
94 days.
It's
I think I mentioned. I don't know if
keep
I
him in
mentioned it.
line.
I don't know if I mentioned on PKA or if it was in our hangout that we did Sunday. I don't recall, but like the gas station right next to me has Delta 8, like on the shelf, like right there, like
advertised, like
at eye level. There's
your
like
Delta
3
8.
different ones. There's there's a indica, sativa, and a hybrid. Just vape right there on the fucking countertop with
Dude,
like
I've
the
told
cigars.
you, it's not even like they're trying to beat around the bush anymore. And this is in Missouri, like pretty red state, where they're like they're not. There's not even the the auspice of like it'll help you sleep, and if your eyes get sore, the glaucoma. It's like also eat like cheese or something fatty with it, and then you'll get like 10 times more higher. It's like,
Is that true?
They said literally, they're like, when you use these edibles, don't take it on an empty stomach. You might think it's like alcohol. Like if you drink a bunch of vodka on an empty stomach, you get drunk faster because the food's not there. But with this, you want some fatty food in there because that actually makes it disperse in your system more effectively. And it's like, okay, so the kind of people who are coming to buy this. Like, we're not trying to rid ourselves of glaucoma. We're trying to
get fucked up.
Trying to get fucked up. Trying to get.
I went to go buy vape juice the other day at my local like vape juice depot place, and that's already kind of a hippy dippy kind of place. The dude calls me bruh, and he's got a really one of those really long goatees.
Oh, nice.
But I looked in there. They have Delta 8 everything. Like they have Delta 8 concentrate that you would do dabs with, and they have like the flower and the vapes and the edibles. Like I don't know if I said that, but they have every conceivable way to intake Delta 8. And I was just like, I'm waiting on to like find my a part for my vape, the whatever the heating coil. Yeah, the heating coil. And I'm like, you've got Delta 8? Because I'd never seen it before. That was my first time seeing it. I had just sort of like turned a blind eye. I knew it existed in my area, but I was just like, it's probably in some really sketchy places that I don't even go. It's like in like, if you go into like a porno store, it's like behind a beaded curtain. They've got it. But no, he's like, yeah, bro. Yeah, it's great. Same as weed, but legal. Anyone can do it. Like,
not anyone.
I can't. I'm on probation. He's like, state or federal? And I'm just like, federal. He's like, shit.
He's like, I feel you, man. I have been there. Like
he essentially did. He was just like, well, you don't want to fuck with that. I was like, no, you don't want to fuck with that.
Come back in 94 days.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of Delta 8 here. I want to see if it's as good as weed. If it's as good as weed, like, why would I move from Georgia if there's something called Delta 8 that I can pick up at the gas station? Affordably.
Pick up the gas
I don't know.
station. Just pop to your local gas station. Get high.
Yeah, I may not move if this Delta 8 stuff is legit as good, because I want to try the concentrate. I want to try like Delta 8 concentrate and see if it hits like marijuana concentrate. If somebody's out there or in the 50 Discord and they hear me say this, like, let me know. Like, is it comparable to like some good shatter, or some good wax or something? Like, are you getting that really crazy fucking punch to the brain that you get from doing marijuana concentrate, or is it kind of just the the light version? Because I don't want that.
You want the full-throated.
We're not settling for anything less than a punch to the brainstem.
Is that the Diet Cherry Vanilla Dr. Pepper?
It is the Diet. No, this is the Dr. Pepper Cream Soda Zero.
Oh.
Very rare product. Very rare product. You really got to dig deep to find these. I see my camera's reversed. But yeah, Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda Zero, not Diet. Yeah.
Yeah. Just crushing diet creams all day.
Good.
Can't be bad for me. There's no calories.
None in there. I don't know what they're sweetening this with, but it's delicious.
Aspartame.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. They just put zero sugar because it sells better than diet now.
Tastes better.
I've had like a 12-pack of those in my closet forever, and I just haven't busted. Actually, no, I don't have the zero sugar. It says diet still. I've had them for a while.
Yeah, I like the
Pretty
Dr.
good,
Pepper Zeros. They taste. It's different than. It's got to be different than the diet Dr. Pepper. It just tastes different. It's better. It's smoother.
I wish that I could get more Zevia creamy root beer, because before they just had ginger root beer, which is kind of whatever. The creamy root beer is on another level, and it's like back ordered on Amazon, and there's nowhere to find it in stores. And so I would love to get myself some more of those. There's not enough good Zevia flavors. Like
let me jump in
grapefruit's
for a
ass.
second before we get off the last topic. Interrupting
Yeah.
my apology. Kyle asked about Delta 8,
Mhm.
and he's like, he's asking his friends. As a guy with no friends, I thought that I would Google it. This is what we do. And I want to tell you what I found. This is from potguide.com. Delta 8 can be psychoactive for some consumers, just less so than Delta 9. He's calling regular pot Delta 9 for anyone listening. A good way to think about it is generally something like weed light. Many of the effects and benefits of Delta 9, though just toned down a few steps. It's still euphoric and stimulates appetite. It can energize and relax the consumer depending on the larger terpene and cannabinoid profile, similar Delta 9. And yes, it can induce some of the same typical heady psychoactive experience. The difference is that while Delta 8 can do these things, it does them with less intensity. Even for experienced cannabis users, there's a notable effect, albeit a less intense one. I feel like that answered your question.
It did. No pussy Delta 8.
Gotta move.
Like as soon as like I'm flying out like the morning of the 2nd, something like that. But I'm gonna have some Delta 8 at midnight. Like we're gonna find out. I'll smoke some Delta 8 while I'm still here. Like I'll be
at the gas station at 2:02.
when I get to I'm gonna Uber to the airport because my car is gonna be. It seems cheaper than having my car sit there for a month. And I'm gonna be high as fuck in that Uber. Like I'm gonna be high as fuck. Well, I'm gonna be hitting that vape in the airport bathroom as I get right before I get on the plane.
You're gonna be doing it on the plane and just
is there pot
ghosting
at
the hit?
Denver airport?
Not at the airport. No,
That would be smart. They should be at the gift shop
because Vegas does that. I agree with you.
Really, I didn't know Vegas did that.
Well,
They
not
have
pot,
gambling.
gambling.
Oh, gambling.
Yeah, they have gambling at the airport.
Yeah, they put their vice
Very on
right there.
brand.
Like as soon as you land, it's like, oh, can you fucking addicts not wait till you get to your hotel casino? Well, hit the slots as soon as you get off.
As you
before you get to
exit
baggage
the
claim.
what is that moving hallway called that leads to your not a taxiway? There's
I
a
don't know
term
what you
for
call
it.
those.
Anyway, as soon as you step out of it, a prostitute should hook her arm around yours, and some guy should start dealing you cards.
Then when you
that-
express
Vegas.
interest, you're arrested.
That in the smoking area there is excellent. As a former smoker, like whenever I would fly into Vegas, I was like, these are my people. They know what's up here. Cause they have this like plexiglass cube full of slot machines in the like middle of the airport that you can get in, and it's got like it's
Not the
continuously
auto walk.
sucking the air straight up above you, and you can just puff away right there in the middle of the airport while playing slots. Atlanta has one too, but it's only in one terminal, and it's more of a sad place. You can tell like they don't go in there much to clean up, and like if the chairs get damaged, they don't mind. You know, it's a sad place to be.
They put those trashy people in there, and they deserve the stink and the awfulness.
The stink, yeah. Like there's ceiling tiles missing. It's
You walk
not a
past
happy
those
place.
rooms, and you're just like, oh, this is the worst. Like it smells like the most intense, congealed, thick smoke,
yeah, it's awful.
and it's
fucking
old.
awful.
It's old smoke. It's not even like
But
fresh.
smokers are cool people. You can go to any smoking area in any airport in the world, and you can ask to bum a cigarette, and no one will ever turn you down.
because you're all in it together.
In it together, yeah, yeah.
All just coughing.
It's a good community. It really is a good community of people. Like I bet Chiz would back me up on this. Like
I can imagine that. I'm not even a smoker, and I'm like, yeah, he's right.
Like if you ask another smoker for a cigarette, you're like, hey, especially if you got if you have like your empty, if you're like dressed nicely so they know you're not a bum, and like nicely enough that they know you're not a bum. You don't need a fucking tuxedo on. What has happened? Oh, that was weird. My screen went white. Did that happen to anybody else?
Yes, I imagine Zach is
Okay.
working.
No
and so
worries.
it just went crazy.
Yeah, you don't need like a tuxedo on, but as long as you're not like smelly and like clearly homeless, nobody likes giving smokes to homeless people. Like you got a problem, dude, and part of it is you can't afford your problem. I don't like supporting homeless people's vices, but like a normal person, it's always like, yeah, absolutely. I've got 2 left. You can have 1.
It's a very strict policy. He only gives money to people that don't need it.
I only give money to people who know how to hang on to enough money to not smell. Why would you give somebody money whose money, like their ability to manage money is so poor that they can't figure out how to have enough money to own soap?
Yeah.
Like,
well, a lot of them are just like straight up, well, either addicts or have mental illnesses or something.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you were to give them
$200,
$200 or like hundreds of dollars, like O&A used to do this, where they would like give homeless people a ton of money on the radio. I'm sure Stern did. And it would be like the next day, it'd be like Lady Di, like this hardcore alcoholic, like, what'd you do with the $300 you made yesterday as our intern? And they find out like, you went to TGI Fridays in Times Square, the most expensive. You live in New York, and you went there and bought $9 beers for 3 hours and didn't eat. And it was like, well, yeah, I suppose. And it's like, how much money did you have left? $12. It's like, how? That doesn't add up. Well, I stopped and I got 2 30-packs and on the way home, so I could. And it was like, okay, you're spelling it out for us right now, like why you're.
Well, you remember
Mr.
my old
Beast
reality show,
Oh yeah,
Bum's Night Out.
Kyle wasn't here when Mr. Beast was on the show, but in one of his early videos, he gave 10 grand to a homeless person. These numbers are about right. And he was like sheepish and apologetic about it. And in my head, I'm like, why? How is that an act of cruelty or whatever? He's like, it turns out if you dump a lot of money onto a homeless person, then you haven't done them a favor. And you can buy them food. You can do some nice things for them. You can buy them rent for this month. But if you just give them 10 grand in cash, oftentimes their life turns for the worse.
Yeah.
You're muted, Kyle.
Yeah, it's not just homeless people either. Like there's certain groups of people that if you gave them $10,000, it's going to get wasted.
Military veterans.
Military veterans. You give a military veteran, thank you for helping with that. You give a military veteran $10,000, he's immediately going to go buy $10,000 worth of rims to go on a $4,000 car. That's what they do.
A veteran or a guy just out of boot?
Either way, there's
these classic
same group of people. Same group of people that we're using as a stand-in for the actual group of people. You give a
oh Jesus Christ!
Let's say you give a
that's why I jumped in so quick.
you give a deli worker. You give a deli worker $10,000, and he's probably gonna know right where to invest that stuff. He's gonna immediately go and Well, he's gonna go and invest that right away. He's gonna diversify that money. It's not all going in one pile.
Cards.
It's going with the rest of his investments. It's getting stuck away, and someday that 10K will be 100K, and he's willing to wait. It really just depends who you give that money to. It's going to be wasted though if you give it to one of those veterans, one of those combat veterans. They're gonna blow that money.
Often the case. Yeah.
Some people don't get that joke.
And there are like the kind of person who would invest wisely 10 grand that you gave them probably doesn't need 10 grand.
That's true. Because they don't need it. I mean, it depends what you need, what you mean by the word need, right? Like,
well, of course, like if you're looking to build up
use 10
down
grand.
payment.
There's nobody who's like, I mean, you literally got to be a billionaire to be like, hey, would you like 10,000? And they'd be like, nah.
Yeah.
I got things to do.
I'm not trying to lose money in the next 2 minutes.
I don't have time to slow down to take your $10,000 from you. Could you just give it to the guy who works for me, who's following behind me, one of those little people? But like everybody else is like, could you use 10,000? I mean, I'll do something with it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Like when you're a billionaire. So I've talked about the different levels of wealth, right? You hit a certain level of wealth. You can go into Target and have anything you want. A better level of wealth, you can go to the Apple store and have anything you want. Some of those things get expensive, but people are that wealthy. When don't even go all the way to Bezos and Elon Musk or something. If you're just a 1 billionaire, guy that we don't even know, we couldn't name, like, what is his relationship with money like? Does he work really hard to make sure he stays above that billion mark? Does he does he just buy anything he wants all the time?
I mean, I bet that could be like an obsession for someone who's like hovering around the 1 billion mark. Like they want to, like, have you ever seen the Simpsons parody where like Mr. Burns like loses his factory in a bet with one of the Texas oil baron characters, and they're like, well, with that deal, you're not a billionaire anymore, Monty. And so they throw him over the fence to the 100 millionaires camp, and he's like, "Oh, get away from me, ghouls!" And because of the era that was started, it was like, I think it was still like some big tech person who's like now a billionaire being like, "Join us, Monty!" Like, it's just funny. Yeah. So yeah,
there was Silicon Valley had a guy like that. He had this really, it was a pretty cool painting actually, and it was like this abstract art, and he was in the 3 Comma Club. And that was it was like a big part of his sense of self-worth. And he invested in our heroes' business. It didn't go well, and he temporarily left the 3 Comma Club, destroyed everything.
He put it all into Yahoo.
Dummy. Yeah, that's got to be. I mean, but what a great problem to have, to wake up and find out you're worth $920 million.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't give a shit about something like that. I think that I think the people that like care about that were like already born into money, and like being 100 millionaire wasn't quite meeting the expectations of maybe their fathers or something like that. Well, daddy was a billionaire and mama was a billionaire, and like I'm supposed to be one now. And it's like, yes, Charles only has $400 million in his estate. It's like, I don't know. Maybe you're underperforming. But like for me, it's like I don't give a shit about how many commas are there. Like once there's enough money, there's enough money. Like I think Chiz linked us that article. Maybe not. Maybe you guys didn't see it. Maybe it was in the pot Discord, our like pot trip Discord that we've got. But it was something about Notch, and it was like the thumbnail was like a picture of him, and it was like tragic and sad. Notch and then like had his net worth like, and I was just like counting the zeros because I was like, is that 2.5 billion? And it is. It's 2.5 billion. And like, but I was just like tragic and sad. I wish this guy would fucking kill himself. I wish this guy would fucking kill himself and like leave that money to somebody who knew what to fucking do with it. Fucking incel.
What was tragic and sad?
I'm not gonna watch his video. It's probably something about him being like a Debbie Downer, about like not having any friends or not knowing what to do with life because now he's got $2.5 billion.
Oh, what a whiner!
Fucking donate it all and go back to work, dummy. If you're not having fun. Oh, you don't want to do that? Why?
What's that classic like old meme video that some like really rich dickhead made where he's like standing in his garage with his $400,000 car and also like a meticulously placed shelf of books that he doesn't read, being like, if someone were to offer me the car behind me or the bookshelf, every time I'm taking the bookshelf because nothing is more valuable than knowledge. And it's like everybody was like, you could sell the car and buy a lot of books. Like you could, like, if that was your modus operandi, like, and it's like, you're just a fucking cunt, dude. You're a
that
cunt.
guy was a fraud, right?
Probably.
If he's the guy I'm thinking of, those were leased cars. It was like imaginary wealth, and he was in the business of selling you shit on the premise that he knows how to get rich.
Like a fake
I love those seminars where the guy's going to teach you to become a billionaire, and it's like, I think step 1 is to trick people into believing that you know how to become a billionaire.
Yeah, are you a billionaire? Then why are you at the Marriott?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, the Marriott's a good one. What are you talking about?
Holiday Inn.
He's looking into giving a speech to 7 people.
if you're above a Super 8, then I'm impressed.
Yeah, I'm right after the Mary Kay and right before the oil salesman. That's who my fellow travelers are. Yeah, that's so true.
What were those magical berries from It's Always Sunny?
Oh, the Goji Berries.
Goji Berries, yeah,
like
the Goji Berry juice or something like that.
They have to get their readings. It's like 100 toxicity. Oh my god, I need some more berries.
100 what? Like they don't even know the units.
Toxins.
Toxins.
Man, the first guy to come up with the pyramid scheme had to just be sitting there and being like, "Wait, guys, hear me out." Like we make them buy their own inventory, then we make them responsible for sales. Well, what happens if they don't make the sales? Well, we make them buy the inventory up front. Nobody's going to fall for this. What kind of real sales job makes you buy the inventory up front? There's a lot of people out there who don't know. Like isn't that like step one of knowing
Taylor,
an MLM?
that's a modern change. Like Walmart doesn't own the inventory on their shelves, right? Am I right about that? Maybe it's a mix.
In a way, like it's kind of complicated, but yeah, it's like the responsibility of the vendor. At the end of the day, because Walmart has all the cards.
If she doesn't sell, the vendor takes it back. And anyway, it didn't used to be like that. It used to be like, and I bet it still isn't for a lot of stores. Like if you own a Boardwalk store in New Jersey, you buy all that inventory at the start of the year and hope it sells.
Yeah, but like I got a lot more faith in like some brick and mortar store that's selling like school supplies and fucking sodas and shit, whatever, than a 38-year-old housewife with a suitcase full of cosmetics.
For sure. Yeah, like that woman is not doing the kind of due diligence and data mining that Walmart is. Like Walmart knows every centimeter of space on their shelf. And like, you're not making this amount of money and we could put
what they're selling is the fantasy of being an entrepreneur. That's what they're selling. Yeah. They act like they're selling whatever, herbal tea or something like that, sex toys, all the Tupperware. But it's about moms who aren't in the actual work world wanting to dip their toe into it.
Yeah.
And like the
would you like to be a go-getter money breadwinner like your husband? Well, just buy our fucking lingerie inventory up front, sell it to all your friends, and you'll be just like him.
Go ruin get-togethers and make your friends uncomfortable.
The light version
Step
of that.
one, give us your husband's money.
Step one, alienate everyone around you. Make when they see your name, be like, fuck, is this about the knives again?
My mom tried selling Mary Kay when I was like 5 or 6 or something like that. She got sucked into one of those deals, and it's just like, God, you got to have so many friends who have never heard of cosmetics to like succeed at this.
Yeah, and it's predatory the way they get people into it. Like it's not based on maintaining a relationship of sales, because a lot of it is one-off stuff like knives, where it's like these knives are going to last the rest of your life, and it's like, okay, where's that entrepreneur's repeat business coming from? Are they just going to be pounding the pavement, like knocking on doors like a vacuum salesman 80 years ago? Like, no, like it's going to peter out on its own because you're going to guilt everyone in your immediate like 2 circles of contact, and then you'll exhaust that, and then you buy more knives thinking that you'll make it out, and it's like, no, that's it.
It doesn't work. Like you need to be like, and 1 or 2 steps removed from that are sales positions like car sales and real estate, where there are people who do that, who make enormous amounts of money because they are just good at sales. They're good at making friends. They're good at making people trust them, and they're kind of slick, and they can sell the sizzle, not the steak. Like they're good at selling what it's going to be like to live in this house, in this home, or maybe they're just really good at matching the homes they show to the people they have available to them. Like they're like, oh, I've got the perfect place to you. I know the place for you, and like kind of selling that dream. Whereas maybe somebody else takes them there and they're like, what do you think about this? I mean, I know it doesn't have as many bedrooms as you wanted, but maybe an abortion is in your future. Like they just can't do it. And the same with car sales. Like I saw people who just like literally were starving trying to sell cars, and people who were like laid off from like the regular business world, whatever they had been involved with, like selling medical devices, this one guy. And for whatever reason, like, I guess that's pretty easy sales. Like, yeah, we need an MRI machine. Do you have one?
You're the MRI guy? Yeah.
I do, in fact. Well, good, because like, let me tell you about the new features. No. We need the M2000 MRI machine, to scan people's brains, and we need it now. Like, well, they are $300,000. Yeah, we know. Our old one broke. Could you just get the paperwork here? Like, it's an easy sale. But then they show up and they try to sell a Ford Escort to a dude who wants a Ford Mustang, and it ain't happening.
Yeah, dude, there's so much sketchy stuff with medical device sales and pharma sales going like direct to doctors. Like it's only in the last couple years that they kind of slowed down what it used to be, which was just like some guy from some pharma company goes and brings burritos for everyone, once a month, and then gets a little FaceTime and is like, "Hey, anybody says anything about depression, Prozac, we would love it over at Johnson & Johnson if Prozac could be your drug of choice for people who inquire about it." Like and then you get fucking doctors who, may encourage the use of that pill even when you don't need it.
I mean, it's a lot dirtier than that, right? Like
yeah. There's a lot of dirty stuff.
Some pharma babe comes and like, "Hey, we're inviting all of our top sales clinics to the big retreat down in Maui.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about a lot of new drugs. Turns out you're one of them. Would you like to come, Dr. Mark?" And like, "Yeah, absolutely." Dr. Mark's going to push a lot of Prozac so that he makes it to the retreat next year.
Other countries have the right idea with pharmaceutical advertising in that they don't allow it, where it's like the whole American phrase of like, ask your doctor about blah, blah, blah. Ask your doctor about this or that. Like, do you eat entire pizzas and then cured meat for hours and then wonder why you have acid reflux? Get on a pill, idiot. And it's like, no, you shouldn't go into any doctor's office with like a laundry list of pills you want. Like they should be giving you what you need. Like don't medicate.
I can go back and forth with that. Like sometimes it's like, "Hey, I want these pills. Can you get me these pills?" You don't really need them. No. I didn't say I need these pills.
I want, but I
you need to get the hearing check.
You know what I need? A doctor with better listening skills.
Yes.
You know what I want, doctor, are drugs to get high.
Not that exactly, but like if there's something I want, I want it.
I'm with Kyle. I had a similar experience recently. I wanted a new sleep apnea machine. I brought my normal one. The thing is big. It's like a suitcase, and it turns out it's heavy and it's hard to pack on a motorcycle. So I'm gonna buy this travel one. It's small. It's like it doesn't take much more room than a coffee cup.
Cool.
And they're like, "Do you have a prescription for this sleep apnea machine?" And I'm like, I'm kind of a subject matter expert. Can we just move this along? Mm-hmm. And long story short, I paid an extra $30 to have an online meeting with the doctor who met for me for literally 45 seconds to say like, "Yep, yeah, you're the guy. You know what's up. Fine." And she stamped it.
I feel you there but that's like an established thing. Like, let's say you were 100 pounds overweight and depressed and not active and not enjoy, like just anhedonia, like can't find joy in anything. And you go to the doctor and he's like, "Oh, you're 100 pounds overweight. You eat poorly. You do this, that, and the other thing. You're not active. Let's put you on Zoloft." Like, and that would be like that's not the right move. A better move would be like, well, let's try messing with your diet. Let's try messing with your activity level. And then in 6 months, we'll like reconvene on this and see if we've made some progress. Like instead of just immediate trying to cover with SSRIs, which are not great.
I'm a balance. I share your reluctance to use SSRIs. And I'm also like, on the other hand, there are people who would benefit from them, people who do turn it around. And so I like a doctor being involved in there. That's all with SSRIs. But like Kyle and I were saying, there are other ones where it's like, "Yeah, I know exactly what's fucking up with this. This is what I want. Get out of my way."
If you go in like, "My dick isn't getting hard," and he's like, "Well, we got a lot of I know what I want, Cialis."
Yeah.
Give me that.
Yeah. This is the thing that I do that I know what's up. And yeah.
I was helping my cousin Scott with that the other day. He had a
getting his dick hard.
Close. He had a doctor who just wasn't.
Did you blow on it?
I tried so hard.
You're right. Looks like this isn't gonna go.
I tried so hard.
But like a gummy worm.
Yeah. 30 minutes, shame on me.
He's like, "Yeah, my doctor's this and that. He's not wanting to like help me do this and that." I'm just like, "Well, your doctor's a bitch. Like call this guy." And like
loser.
Immediately got him straightened out. Like take care of it.
Yeah, you know who's good for shit? Hims. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah. I use them for my cold sore medicine. Yeah, they just fucking send it.
Yeah, Hims, they rubber stamp shit. So you do need a doctor. And by the way, I don't have a deal with Hims or anything, but they do like dick pills. They do
Hair loss?
hair loss. I was about to say hair keeping pills. They do acne pills. They do or acne creams. They do a lot of shit that you might like want, and your doctor's a pain in the ass way to get it.
Yeah, like if it because it's sometimes it's hard to get an appointment, and if you don't have insurance, then like all of a sudden you're spending like $150 just to go see a guy to prescribe you something that. I mean, God, it's acne cream or something like finasteride, like which is hair loss. Like, just fucking get it. Like it's these are like super tested, like safe things. Like you're not gonna fuck yourself up with cold sore medicine. No one is like snorting or cyclovir or whatever the hell it's called.
I don't know what that one is, but since COVID, telehealth has become more known, and it's kind of a nice way to. Sometimes I want a doctor to help me. I have had experiences where I was like sick, like a cold that lasted too long, sick. And my doctor was amazing. She's like, I tell her I'm sick, I've got this, and she starts describing my symptoms back to me that I hadn't even told her yet. And I'm like, yeah, you get it. It's like you're a professional with this. and all she prescribed to me was some lifestyle stuff and the Sudafed that you need your driver's license for.
Yeah.
She gave me a little, I don't remember it anymore, but she's like, you don't want the Sudafed that says it's Sudafed. You want the one behind the counter. And she helped me get better. So every so often I want a doctor and their advice. Sometimes, this is what
I just want access to a pharmacy.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Sometimes you want a doctor. You need a mechanic, an expert. And sometimes you just need access to some power tools. Mm-hmm. These are completely different things. It's like I really want to go past the mechanic and just get the air wrench because I know what needs doing. Okay,
yeah,
we just do that, and that's what places like Hims are good for.
If I'm king of this country, I don't know how to legislate that. I don't know how to
I think it's perfect the way it is.
Yeah, I don't know how to say. Kyle has watched enough YouTube videos to make his own decisions in this thing over here, but not that thing over there. Like it's a hard rule to make.
Yeah, my oncologist, he makes the decisions. But like if I'm getting
that's cancer,
that. I let my cancer doctor make the calls for the most part. Actually, I had decisions to make. He's like, yeah, we can like cut a pizza pie slice out of your eyelid, or we can do this like thing where we slowly cut like layers off like a deli slicer. And I'm just like, which one's like 100%, like the most effective? And he's like, well, cutting a pizza pie slice out is like 100% effective. I'm like, well, am I gonna like look like Igor from Frankenstein or anything? He's like, nah, there'll be a little scar, no big deal. I'm like, all right, we'll do that. Cut the fucking slice.
You're gonna look a little more Asian than before. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Just in one eye. So
just in one eye.
Is it okay? But but if they start coming at me one of those deli slicers like Kramer had, it's just I would have liked to have seen the technique, but it sounded horrifying. And what they did
probably
to
on
me was painful
YouTube.
enough. Yeah, I'll avoid watching that. I don't like to see eye surgeries. I have a bit of a phobia there now for some reason. I can't imagine why.
In UFC fights, whenever there's an eye injury, like I swear, a guy can have a giant fucking vagina on his forehead, and I'm kind of cool with it. Like I've seen big injuries in real life, and people turn out okay. The white part of his eyes now red freaks me out. I don't know. It seems like
I didn't even like that scene in Invincible where he started gouging Omni-Man's eyes.
It's a
cartoon. I was just like, no, leave Omni-Man's eyes alone. Leave them alone.
Yeah, but you thought that Game of Thrones scene was pretty tight.
That was badass. And if you want another eye gouging scene, Mr. In Between. There's a great eye gouging scene in there.
Great eye gouging.
There's a great eye gouging. He's so fucking hardcore.
No answer questions.
Where do you watch that again?
Hulu. I watch it on Hulu. But I'm sure
my Hulu has ads. Ooh. Yeah, so the internet's so bad here. I don't know if it's my fault or his.
Yeah, I'm all caught up with Mr. In Between. I'm watching week to week now. It's a fun show. The actress who plays his daughter was like the perfect age, so that like almost every episode she is aging a little. So she's like, because she's like, I don't know, 11 or 12, like right in the middle of puberty. And so it's fun because they're able to like, I don't know, like write different kinds of stories involving his daughter. Like now she's starting to like date and like dabble with drugs a little bit. And he's just like, you're on something. What are you on? She's like, nothing. Tell me what you're on. Oh, I took a cap. A cap of what? I guess that means that's like short for capsule. I don't know. MD, MDA, something like that. Where'd you get it?
MDMA.
And he's just being like super chill. Like, where'd you get it? And he's like, I don't know. Tell me where you got it. A friend.
I have a feeling her source is about to close up.
Oh God! They didn't even show what awful thing he did to the drug.
How old was his daughter?
Like 12.
Ooh, I don't know. I'm kind of on his side, right? If she's 19 in college or something and she bought this, then she's made a decision. You need to address her. If she's 12, let's talk to the source.
Yeah, he starts with her boyfriend and he ends up at a drug dealer's house. It's I really enjoy that. Whenever someone, it's kind of like The Sopranos. Whenever like someone does something wrong to someone who's close to Tony, like that Tony loves, you're just like, uh-oh, something bad's gonna happen to you.
Oh, there is a time a guy was being creepy towards his daughter,
Coco.
and sexually suggestive. Like I forget exactly.
On your cheek. I'd love to add to it. That was Coco.
Coco made a mistake.
Up getting pistol whipped and curb stomped in his own restaurant.
He loses some teeth, if I recall.
That's what curb stomping is.
Yeah.
Teeth on the bottom of the bar, the place where you put your feet, and fuck. And the guy's like, "Don't do it." Butchie's like, "Don't do it. Don't do it." And Tony's just like, "Yeah." Conk. And fucking knocks all his teeth out.
Dude.
Speaking of that,
we talked about eye gouges. Teeth knocking out is rough for me to watch.
I would much rather have all my teeth knocked out than one of my eyes gouged badly.
Yeah, you can. It's way easier to fix teeth than
they're gonna look better afterwards. Like we talked to you were talking about the guy who like took the shrapnel to the nose and in the end got a better nose now. That's how teeth work too. Like I got all of his teeth knocked out.
Probably right.
But look at him now. I mean, they were too big for him before anyway. But the trailer for the Many Saints of Newark came out. I watched it today. So that is the movie prequel to The Sopranos, where you've got James Gandolfini's son playing Tony Soprano as like a 15, 16-year-old. And you've got that guy who played the Punisher. He also played Shane in the first couple seasons of Walking Dead. He's a main character in there, and a couple other actors that I recognized. And it actually looks pretty fucking good. The actress they've got playing Tony Soprano's mother, like even in like the 10 seconds you see her, you're like, oh, what a cunt. She's so awful. She's such an awful person. So it looks good. I'm looking forward to it. It comes out in the fall. And then I think in like 3 days that Amazon movie with Chris Pratt comes out, the one where he goes to the future to fight the aliens.
Oh, and I think it might be July 11th. If it's not that exactly, it's really close. McGregor and Poirier fight
again. Yeah. I just don't. I don't know if he's going to be able to make the adjustments.
McGregor, yeah, he's going to get his ass kicked. He's been getting worse for like 5 years now.
Seems that way.
Why he's like, no, my career is kind of like a check mark, and it's gonna get great. Yeah, sure it is.
I mean, I would love to see that.
Your bank account is a fucking ski lift. I'll give you that. Respect. But as far as being able to beat other professional fighters, that's not your thing anymore, bro.
It hasn't been for a while. I think this is the last time that I'm gonna like give him any credit. If he loses this one, it's like the report's in.
Scores posted.
Yeah. If you've lost twice in a row to the same guy, that's kind of bad. Because he's never done that before, as far as I can remember. He's never lost twice to the same person. He's always been able to come back and make the adjustments, and he's beaten some big names, obviously. I would have loved to have seen him fight Khabib again, because he did give Khabib the best fight anyone has. But I don't know.
That's technically correct, but like
that's what I'm going for, technical correctness.
Okay, I'll just stop there. The people should know that he didn't come close to winning that fight.
No one ever has, but he came the closest.
Yeah. He won. Did he win a round? He won a round, right?
He won a round. He's the only person to ever win a round against Khabib.
Before he got stopped.
Yeah, he got that wasn't quite an RNC. It was more of a neck crank, but especially from someone like Khabib, oh my God, you got to feel like your jaw's about to explode.
Right. Yeah. And then I was also pretty exhausted too. Like,
oh yeah, he was gassed.
I don't knock that. Some people knocked him for tapping. They felt like, dude, that was just a pain move. You don't tap to pain moves. Bro, it was clear that wasn't his night. So he found the exit. And, sometimes in fighting, it's not going to get any better from here.
That's what I was going to say. There was no circumstance in which he toughs out through that neck crank, comes back the next round, and one shot KOs Khabib or anything like that.
I don't remember if it was the fourth or the fifth. I'm not sure if there was a next round.
I think it was the fourth.
Okay.
I thought he lost in the fourth. I could be it's been 3-4 years ago now, but that's my remembrance of it. Because it seemed like maybe Khabib, whenever a fighter that's supposed to win all the rounds loses an early round, they're like, oh yeah, he took that round off. It's like, okay, I mean, can he ever lose then? It's like, oh yeah, lost. He took tonight's fight off. Yeah, that's what that was.
He took a round off. He decided it'd be better if he got beat up this round.
Yeah, that's what Mayweather did. He took a few rounds off against Conor. So I don't know. It's amazing the amount of money he's made. I'm glad that he's not going to be a where are they now story that's sad. I can't imagine that happening. Can't.
Now, he can still make a lot of terrible personal decisions and live an unhappy life. And that maybe there's a better than 50-50 shot chance of that happening. I don't know that McGregor adjusts well to being a happy Daniel Cormier is like, dude, next phase of my life, I'm very excited about it. I'm going to coach this high school wrestling team. I'm going to spend time with my kids. People are going to know me as Joshua's dad, not that UFC guy. That's my next role in life. And Daniel Cormier, I think he's going to do great there. Conor McGregor, he likes being Conor McGregor, the guy in the fucking zebra skinned coats or whatever he's wearing next. He likes to come and dress like a pimp or let Mexican drug lords or whatever, center of attention, worshipped, that a major star. Conor loves that. And when it's taken from him before he's ready, we'll see how he adjusts. But I could see it going poorly. Yeah,
I think the only way it goes poorly for him is if he literally kills himself in a car accident or actually commits a serious crime that sends him to prison for a long time or something like that.
He's good with money. I'm not predicting.
He seems to be.
Sorry, I'm not predicting he goes broke.
Me either.
I'm predicting he doesn't live a happy life. I could see that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he also really enjoys
drugs. Too much.
I think he likes cocaine and whores, and cocaine and whores are very cheap
for him.
That's like someone who really enjoys rice and beans.
But I feel
I love rice and beans.
Cocaine and whores. I'm a little outside my expertise, but it's a little like watching Netflix, where it's fun in the short term, but in the long term, it's not a fulfilling life.
Depends what's on Netflix tonight, I guess.
Yeah, touche. You guys want to call it a show?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to do our hangout for the next couple hours. Get that knocked out.
Cool.
Yeah, it should be fun.
All right. PKN 358.